Welcome to Bond Chronicle. Today we're diving into a topic that's both exciting and, let's be honest, a little tricky to figure out sometimes 15 clear signs. A girl wants to sleep with you now. Before we get started, let's set the record straight. This isn't about manipulation or mind games, it's about understanding. Signals that women often give when they're genuinely attracted to you because, let's face it, sometimes we miss signs that are right in front of us. Ever found yourself wondering if she's dropping hints, maybe she's sending signals you don't quite know how to interpret? Well, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. These aren't just guesses. They're actionable insights backed by experience. And a little psychology to help you navigate the dating game like a pro. And here's the best part. Some of these signs might completely surprise you whether you're in the early stages of dating or try-on. Take things to the next level. We've got you covered, but before we jump into either, something worth mentioning. Building attraction isn't just about picking up on signals. It's about how you show up as a person if you're serious about boosting your confidence and becoming the kind of men women naturally gravitate toward. Got a little something in the description that can help trust us. It's a game changer, and you'll thank us later. All right, let's get started. Attraction is complex. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. Attraction is complex. Women are often subtle when it comes to showing their interest. And that's what makes it so intriguing. Unlike the more direct approach men might take, women's cues can sometimes feel like riddles, but once you understand the language, it's surprisingly clear. So why is this important? Because relationships thrive in connection, and connection starts with understanding, being able to read the room. Or in this case, her signals can save you from awkward moments, missed opportunities, and misunderstandings. Here's what's in store for you in this video. We're breaking down 15 signs she's genuinely into you, signs that go beyond the obvious to give you a deeper understanding of what's really going on in her mind. By the end, you won't just be guessing anymore. You'll know, and when you know, confidence follows. Think of this as your cheat code to decoding attraction, and let's make one thing clear. This isn't about pressure or entitlement. It's about mutual respect and chemistry. If the signs aren't there, it's totally fine to move on, because the right connection should never feel forced. Now, why are we so confident in these 15 signs? Simple. They're grounded in the universal ways all communicate interest, often without even realizing it. From body language to the things she says, these signals are part of how we naturally express attraction. Some are subtle, others are bold, but every single one is worth paying attention to. So whether you're here because you're curious, looking for clarity, or just want to sharpen your dating skills, you're in the right place. Make sure you stick around because these insights I just changed the way you approach your relationships. And hey, don't just stop here, join the conversation. If you've a respect and communication, ever noticed any of these signs or missed them entirely, let us know in the comments. Sharing your experience might just help someone else. All right, let's get to the good stuff. If you're ready to discover the 15 clear signs a girl wants to sleep with you, buckle up because we're about to break it all down. And remember, there's a little extra help waiting for you in the description. We'll mind you again later, but for now, let's dive in. Before we dive into the 15 signs, let's get one thing straight. This video is not about pressuring anyone or crossing any boundaries. If it's about understanding mutual interest and building meaningful connections, relationships at their best are built on respect, trust, and communication, and no amount of attraction is worth pursuing if it isn't reciprocated or based on a foundation of mutual consent. In today's world where so much of our communication is unspoken, misinterpreted, someone's signals can lead to awkward or worse, harmful situations. That's why understanding the importance of consent and mutual respect in any intimate relationship is non-negotiable. It's not just the right thing to do, it's the cornerstone of real attraction. Let's break it down. Consent isn't just about getting a yes, it's about creating an environment where both people feel safe and excited to say yes. One, you focus on respect and genuine interest. You're not only showing her you value her, but you're also making the connection stronger, and trust me, nothing is more attractive than someone who respects boundaries and communicatively. Now let's talk about emotional connection. You've probably heard this before. Physical attraction might get someone's attention, but emotional connection keeps it. Physical attraction is important. We're not going to pretend it isn't, but without respect and communication, it's meaningless. Think about it. If the emotional and physical don't align, you're left with something that feels hollow. And no one wants that. So what does this mean for you? It means is listening, observing, and respecting her pace when she's comfortable. She'll understanding tell. You know, in her own way, that's what makes recognizing mutual interest so powerful. It's about understanding, no tassiming. Here's something worth remembering. Every sign we're about to discuss comes with context. What works in known situation might not apply in another, and if you're ever unsure about how she feels, there's no harm in asking. In fact, being open enough to communicate clearly about your intentions and hers is one of the most attractive qualities you can have. Let's make this clear. Recognizing signs of interest is not a green light to act without consideration. It's an opportunity to see if there's mutual chemistry and to decide together what the next steps might be. After all, Phoebus connections happen when both people are on the same page. Now you might be wondering why we're taking the time to discuss consent and emotional connection before diving into the 15 signs. Here's why. If you skip this step, everything else falls apart. You can't build a house without a solid foundation, and in relationships that foundation is respect and understanding. And here's the thing then. Respectful doesn't make you less confident, it makes you more desirable. Confidence. It isn't about being aggressive or pushy, it's about being secure enough in yourself to respect someone else's boundaries and communicate clearly about your own intentions. Let's put this in a perspective. Imagine meeting someone who listens, respects your feelings, and makes you feel understood. Sounds like someone you'd want to spend time with, right? That's the kind of person you want to be when you approach relationships. This way, you're not just attracting interest, you're building connections that actually mean something. So if you're serious about creating meaningful relationships, start physical attraction. Focus on mutual respect. Understand the importance of emotional connection and always prioritize acumna. Trust me, when you approach attraction with this mindset, you'll notice a difference not just in how others respond to you, but in how you feel about yourself. Now let's shift gears a bit, because once you've got this foundation in place, recognizing the signs of mutual interest becomes a lot easier. The signals are there, you just have to know how to spot them, and that's exactly what we're going to cover next. The 15 signs we're about to discuss aren't random, they're grounded in the universal ways we express attraction, whether it's through body language, the things we say, or the time we spend together. These signs tell a story, and when you can read that story, you'll have a much clearer idea of where you stand. But here's the catch. You need to pay attention to the details. Not every smile is a sign of interest, and not every compliment is an invitation. That's why understanding context is so important when you combine what you've learned about consent and emotional connection with the signs we're about to share. You'll be able to navigate the dating world with confidence and clarity. So, are you ready to learn the 15 clear signs a girl wants to sleep with you? We're about to unpack them one by one. Some of these might be subtle and others might feel like they're right out of a movie, but every single one has some theme valuable to teach you. Let's dive in. Let's start with the first set of signs. Physical attraction. These are the subtle yet unmistakable ways her body language speaks louder than words. While every person is different, there are universal cues that reveal when someone feels drawn to you. Pay close attention, because these can be easy to miss if you're not looking. For them, frequent touching and close proximity, the first sign. She's finding reasons to be physically close to you, maybe? She playfully touches your arm during a conversation, or she leans in just a little closer than necessary. These aren't accidental movements, they're deliberate, even if she's not fully aware of it. For example, imagine you're telling her a funny story and she lightly taps your arm while laughing. That's not just about humor, it's about connection. Or picture this: you're standing in a crowded room and she makes her way closer to you, brushing against you casually. Proximity is a hooga-givey, because we naturally gravitate toward people we're attracted to. But here's the key: it's not just about touch. It's about how she reacts. When she's near you, if she seems comfortable and even eager to close the distance, it's a strong signal of interest. And if she initiates that closeness, well, she's definitely not just being polite. Maintenance. Deep eye contact. Next up, let's talk about eye contact. This might seem obvious, but the intensity and duration of her gaze can tell you a lot about how she feels when someone maintains deep eye contact. It's a sign of trust and interest. It's as if she's silently saying, I see you and I want you to see me. Here's what to watch for: prolonged eye contact that feels more intentional than casual. It's not just a quick glance. It's the kind of look that lingers for a second longer than usual. And if she's smiling while holding that gaze, it's even more powerful. Science backs this up. To eye contact releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which can deepen feelings of attraction. So the next time you're having a conversation, notice how often and how deeply she looks into your eyes. If it feels like she's focused on you and nothing else, that's a major green flag. Playful flirting and teasing. Let's be reflirting is fun. And when she starts playfully teasing you, it's often a clear sign she's interested. Think about it. Humor creates chemistry, and teasing is a way to break while building a connection. For instance, she might joke about something small like the way you always order threesome drink, or the fact that you're bad at keeping track of time. The point isn't teasing itself. It's the energy behind it. She's trying to create a playful dynamic that feels light and enjoyable for both of you. But here's the catch. Teasing only works if it's mutual. Mirage. Fifth, she's poking fun at you in a way that feels comfortable and you're laughing along. It's a good sign. Pay attention to her tone, her smile, and whether she's giving you those little just kidding looks. If the vibe feels flirty, rather than critical, it's her way of showing interest, mirroring your actions. This one is a little more subtle, but it's just as telling. Have you ever noticed someone copying your movements without realizing? This is called mirroring, and it's a subconscious way we show we're in sync with someone. For example, if you lean forward during a conversation, she'll might do the same. Or if you take a sip of your drink, she might follow suit a moment later. It's like an unspoken dance that shows she's paying attention to you and wants to build a sense of connection. Psychologically, mirroring is tied to rapport. When we're attracted to someone, our brains naturally want to align with them. It's a way of saying we're on the same page. So if you catch her subtly mimicking your posture, gestures, or even your tone of voice, take it as a sign that she's feeling the chemistry. Subtle physical hints. Finally, let's talk about little things she does to make herself more appealing when she's around you. These subtle physical hints can include things like adjusting her hair, straightening her clothes, or even touching her neck. Why does this happen? It's simple. When we're attracted to someone, we want to look our best. For instance, if she's tucking her hair behind her ear while you're talking, or smoothing out her dress as she walks toward you, it's her way of subconsciously drawing your attention to her appearance. Here's a pro tip. Watch how often she does this. If it feels like she's adjusting herself more when you're around compared to when she's with others, it's probably not a coincidence. And if she combines thesis with other signs like leaning in or maintaining eye contact, you can be pretty confident she's interested. These physical attraction cues are just the beginning, but there's some of the most reliable ways to tell if she's drawn to you. Remember, it's not about analyzing very little things she does. It's about looking at the overall pattern. If she's building confidence for a clee, touching you, holding your gaze, teasing you, mirroring your actions, and making subtle adjustments to her appearance, she's probably trying to let you know she's into you. And here's the best part. Recognizing these signs isn't just about figuring out if she's interested, it's about building confidence. When you start noticing these cues, you'll feel more certain about where you stand. And that certainty is incredibly attractive, but we're just getting started. There's a lot more to cover, so stick around as We dive even deeper into the signs that show she's genuinely interested now that we've explored the physical signs. Let's move on to behavioral cues. These are just as important, if not more so, because they go beyond surface-level attraction and dig into the ways she's opening up and connecting with you emotionally. She's showing these behaviors, it's a clear indication she's feeling something deeper, initiates private hangouts. One of the most telling signs is when she starts initiating opportunities to hang out with Woonian. When think about it, spending time together in a group is one thing, but suggesting more private settings shows she wants to get to know you on a deeper, more personal level. For example, she might say, "Hey Westhold, grab coffee sometime," or "You have to come over and watch this movie I was telling you about." These aren't casual invitations. They're intentional by creating a space where it's just the two of you. She's giving both of you a chance to bond without the distractions of a crowd. Pay attention to the settings she suggests too. Is it a cozy cafe, a quiet park, a Revan? Her place, the more intimate the environment, the more likely it is that she's looking to deepen your connection. And if she's the one initiating these hangouts consistently, it's a strong sign she feels comfortable enough to make the first move, engages in deep personal conversations. Next, let's talk about the power of deep personal conversations. When someone starts sharing vulnerable details about their life, it's not just about filling the silence, it's about building intimacy. This is especially true. She opens up about things she doesn't usually share with others. For instance, she might talk about her childhood, her dreams, or even her fears. These aren't just random tidbits, they're windows into who she is, and by sharing them with you, she's showing that she trusts you and values your opinion. But it doesn't stop there. If she's asking you questions that go beyond the surface, like your goals, your family, or what really makes you happy, it's a sign she wants to understand you on a deeper level. This kind of emotional connection often precedes physical attraction because it creates a sense of closeness. And here's the key: pay attention to how she responds when you share your own personal details. If she's genuinely nodding, asking follow-up questions, or even mirroring your emotions, it's a sign she's invested in conversation and, by extension, in you. Compliments. Your appearance compliments might seem simple, but the way she gives them can reveal a lot about her intentions. If she's complimenting your appearance in a specific and thoughtful way, it's often a sign of physical interest. For example, instead of saying something generic like, "You look nice," she might say, "That shirt really brings out your eyes," or "I love how your smile lights up a room." The difference lies in the detail. When Simone notices the little things about your appearance, it shows there paying attention. And when those compliments are she's into you, accompanied by a smile, a laugh, or even a little blush, it's a pretty clear sign she's into you. But here's the thing, it's not just about what she says, it's about how often she says it. If she's regularly complimenting you, especially on your style, grooming, or physical features, she's likely trying to let you know she finds you attractive. And if she pairs those compliments with other signs, like maintaining eye contact or initiating touch, you can be conscious, interested, becomes more playful and relaxed around you. Another major indicator is her behavior when she's with you. If she seems more relaxed, genuinely happy in your presence, it's a strong sign she feels comfortable around you. This comfort often comes before physical attraction because it's rooted in trust. For example, she might joke around with you, tease you in a lighthearted way, or laugh more freely than she does with others. This playfulness isn't just about having fun, it's a way of building rapport and showing that she enjoys your company. But it's not just about laughter. Notice how her body language changed when she's with you. Does she seem less guarded? Is she leaning in, touching her hair, or smiling more often? These small shifts in behavior can indicate that she feels at ease and is starting to let her guard down. Here's something else to consider. Comfort often leads to confidence. If she's willing to be a little goofy or share embarrassing stories with you, it's a sign she's not worried about impressing you in a superficial way. Instead, she's showing you her authentic self, and that's a big deal. Shows genuine interest in your life. Finally, let's talk about curiosity. When someone is genuinely interested in your life, it's because they want to understand who you are beyond the surface. This goes beyond polite small talk. It's about asking questions that show she cares. For instance, she might ask about your hobbies, your favorite childhood memory, or what inspires you, and it's not just about the questions, it's about how she listens to your answers. If she's leaning in, making eye contact asterisk and responding thoughtfully, she's not just being polite, she's invested in the conversation. But it doesn't stop at asking questions. If she remembers the little details you share, like your favorite band, the name of your pet, or that big project you're working on, it's a sign she's paying attention. And when someone takes the time to remember those details, it shows they value you. Here's the bottom line: when she shows genuine interest in your life, she's not just being friendly. She's trying to build a connection, and that connection is often the first step towards something more. So there you have it. 5 powerful behavioral cues that reveal she's interested in you. These aren't just random acts, they're intentional ways building trust, intimacy, and attraction. When you start noticing these behaviors, have a much clearer idea of how she feels. But remember, it's not just about spotting the signs, it's about how you respond if you notice she's initiating private hangouts, engaging in deep conversations, or showing genuine interest in your life. Take the time to reciprocate. Building attraction is a two-way street, and the best connections happen when both people are equally invested. And don't worry, we're not done yet. There's still so much more to uncover. Stick around as we dive into even more signs that reveal when she's genuinely interested in taking things to the next level. Now, let's move on to situational and verbal hints, the way she might express her interest through her words and the context of her actions. These are often the most direct indicators, yet they can still be subtle enough to fly under the radar. If you're not paying attention, let's break them down. Brings up the topic of intimacy or relationships. When a girl starts intimacy or relationships, bring up topics about intimacy or relationships, it's rarely random whether she's testing the waters or hinting at her own thoughts. These conversations, Asians, are usually intentional. For instance, she might casually ask Yao about your views on relationships, saying something like, "What's the longest relationship you've ever been in?" Or, "Do you believe in soulmates at first glance?" These might seem like harmless questions, but they often serve a deeper purpose. She's gauging where you stand and whether your perspectives align with hers. Sometimes the hints are even more direct. She might share her own experiences or thoughts on intimacy, like mentioning what she values most in a partner, or subtly commenting what she finds attractive. These moments aren't just idle chatter, there are opportunities for her to see if you're on the same page. Emotionally and physically, pay attention to how these topics come up. If she seems genuinely interested in your answers and shares her own thoughts in return, it's a clear sign she's trying to build a deeper connection. Mentions being alone together. Another major hint is when she starts alone together's edging situations where the two of you can be alone. This could be something as simple as, "We should have a movie night sometime," or, "You have to try my cooking, you should come over this weekend." The key here is the intent behind the invitation. When someone makes an effort to create a private, intimate setting, it's often because they want to spend quality time with you without distractions. These moments are about building closeness and, in some cases, testing the waters for something more. For example, if she invites you to her place or suggests an activity that naturally creates a cozy atmosphere, like watching a movie or cooking dinner together, it's a strong indicator of her interest. Pay attention to the context and the energy she brings to the invitation. Is she excited? Does she emphasize that it'll just be the two of you? If so, she's likely hoping to create an environment where things can progress. Nature stays around longer than necessary. Have you ever noticed that she longer than necessary lingers after your conversations, dates, or hangouts? This is another clear signal of attraction. When someone is interested, they'll find reasons to extend the time they spend with you, even if there's no specific reason to stick around. For instance, after a dinner date, she might suggest grabbing a drink nearby, or taking a walk instead of heading straight home. Or if you're hanging out at your place, she might find excuses to stay a little longer, like wanting to finish a conversation or not wanting the night to end. This lingering isn't just about spending more time together. It's about creating opportunities for deeper connection. If she's consistently staying longer than necessary and seems reluctant to say goodbye, it's a strong indicator that she enjoys your companion, feels drawn to you, uses flirty or suggestive language. Let's talk about how words can spark attraction. When a girl starts using flirty or suggestive language, it's often her way of testing boundaries and seeing how you'll respond. These comments can range from playful banter to more overtly suggestive hints, depending on her personality and comfort level. For example, she might joke about how good you'd look in a certain outfit or casually comments on how much fun the two of you would have on a romantic getaway. These kinds of remarks are designed to create a sense of intimacy. And explore the possibility of something more. Flirty language often comes with a certain tone, a mix of humor, curiosity, and confidence. It's not just about what she says, it's about how she says it. For playful comments are paired with laughter, a smile, or even a little bit of blushing. It's clear she's trying to gauge your reaction. And let's not forget suggestive hints. If she makes comments that could be interpreted as playful yet bold, like "you're trouble, I can tell," or "I bet you're fun to be around in private," she's likely testing the waters to see if you're on the same wavelength. Prioritizes time with you over others. One of the most significant signs of interest is when she prioritizes spending time with you over others. In today's busy world, time is one of the most valuable things we can offer someone. So if she's consistently choosing to be with you, it's not by accident. For example, if she cancels plans with friends to hang out with you, or goes out of her way to make time in her schedule, it shows that she values her presence, even in small ways, like choosing to sit next to you in a group setting or texting you first thing in the morning. She's signaling that you're a priority in her life. This prioritization often extends quick to respond to your messages beyond just physical time together. If she's quick to respond to your message, remember important details about your conversations, or checks in on you regularly, it's a strong sign that she's invested in building a connection with you. The key here is consistency. It's one thing to prioritize someone occasionally, but if she's consistently making you feel like you're at the top of her list, it's a clear indication of her interest. When you put all this as situational and verbal hints together, they create a powerful picture of attraction. From bringing up topics about intimacy to suggesting private hangouts and prioritizing her time with you, these signs show that she's not just interested. She's making an effort to move the connection forward. But remember, these hints are only part of the story. It's important to respond in kind, showing her that you appreciate and reciprocate her interest. Building a meaningful connection requires both people to be on the same page, to pay attention to her cues and respond with honesty and respect. And don't worry, we're not done yet. There are still more signs to uncover, so stick around as we dive even deeper into how to recognize one. She's genuinely interested in taking things to the next level, by the way. If you've been enjoying this breakdown and are wondering how to take your confidence and attraction game to the next level, there's something I highly recommend. It's a resource that's helped countless people feel more confident, look their best, and bring voiding overconfidence to every interaction. If you're serious about leveling up, check out the link in the description. It's a game changer, trust me. You won't regret it as much as recognizing the signs is important. There's another side to this conversation that often gets overlooked. Mistinter the signs. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of attraction and overlook the nuances that make all the difference. So let's take a moment to talk about common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Avoid a governor confines. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Not every smile, text, or laugh is a sign of romantic or physical interest. Sometimes a girl's behavior might simply be her way of being friendly, kind, or polite. Misreading these cues can lead to awkward or uncomfortable situations, which no one wants. For example, if she's laughing at your jokes, it could just mean she finds you funny, not necessarily that she's ready to take things to the next level. Similarly, a touch on your arm might be her way of emphasizing a point in conversation, not a deliberate act of flirtation. The key here is to balance confidence with humility. Confidence is attractive, but overconfidence, especially when it leads to assumptions, can be a turn-off. It's important to keep your ego in check and recognize that her actions might not always mean what you hope they do. The best way to navigate this is to read in context. Pay attention to the overall pattern of her behavior, rather than zeroing in on a single action. Reading context. Next, let's talk about the importance of context. One of the biggest mistakes people make is interpreting signs in isolation without considering the environment or situation. Context matters a lot. For instance, if she's being touchy and playful at a party where everyone's in a good mood, her actions might just reflect the festive atmosphere. On the other hand, if she's seeking out private moments with you in a quieter setting, that's a different story. Similarly, consider her personalitism. People are naturally more open, touchy, or flirty, and their behavior might not carry the same meaning. Assume who's typically reserved if she's outgoing with everyone. Her friendliness toward you might not be unique, but if she acts differently around you compared to others, more engaged, more curious, more present, that's when it's worth paying attention. Always ask yourself, is her behavior consistent? That to do when you're unsure across different situations, or does it change when she's with me? Reading the room and understanding her baseline behavior will give you a much clearer picture of her intentions. What to do when you're unsure. Finale, let's address what might be the most important point. What to do when you're on your truth is, no matter how many signs you recognize, there will still be moments of uncertainty, and that's okay, because the best way to resolve uncertainty is through clear communication. Here's a simple rule to follow. When in doubt, ask. This doesn't mean putting her on the spot with a blunt question like, "Do you like me?" Instead, focus on creating a conversation that allows her to express how she feels naturally. For example, you could say something like, "I really enjoy spending time with you. How do you feel about where things are heading between us?" The key is to approach the conversation with openness and respect. When you create a space where she feels safe to share her thoughts, you'll not only get clarity, but also strengthen your connection. Remember, clear communication isn't just a bottom lineaging an answer. It's about showing her that you respect her feelings and value her perspective. And trust me, there's nothing more attractive than a man who knows how to communicate with confidence and empathy. Here's the bottom line. Misinterpreting the signs can happen, Tonyon, but it doesn't have to derail your connection by avoiding overconfidence. Reading the context of our actions and being willing to communicate open lie. You'll set yourself up for success in any relationship. And don't forget, it's not about getting it right every time. It's about being self-aware, respectful, and willing to learn. When you approach attraction with this mindset, you'll not only avoid common pitfalls, but also create the kind of connection that lasts. So, there you have it. The 15 clear signs a girl wants to sleep with you. From the way she touches your arm to the way she prioritizes time with you. These signals can help you decode her feelings and build a stronger connection. But let's not forget the foundation of everything we've discussed: consent and respect. Attraction is exciting, no doubt about it, but it's only meaningful when it's mutual and rooted in respect. Every sign we've covered today is about recognizing interest, not assuming it. The best relationships are built on clear communication, emotional connection, and a genuine desire to understand one another. Let's quickly recap the journey we've been on. First, we laid the groundwork with the importance of consent and respect, ensuring that mutual understanding is at the heart of everything. Then, We explored the signs of physical attraction from her subtle touches to the way she mirrors your actions. Next, we dove into behavioral cues, like how she initiates private hangouts and engages in deep conversations. And finally, we looked at situational and verbal hints, those moments where her words and actions clearly reveal her feelings. Blue, understanding these signs, you now have the tools to navigate the dating world with confidence and clarity. But remember, this isn't about ticking off boxes on a checklist. It's about building genuine connections and staying attuned to her feelings and comfort level. Here's the thing. Confidence comes from clarity. When you know what to look for and how to interpret the signs, you can approach relationships with more certainty and ease, and that confidence, it's magnetic. Women are drawn to men who are secure, self-aware, and respectful. Now, you have everything you need to be exactly that. For we wrap up, let's leave you with one final piece of advice. Always trust your instincts. If something feels right, explore it with respect and care. If something feels off, don't hesitate to step back and reassess. Relationships, area, journey, and the best ones come from patience, understanding, and mutual effort. If this video gave you some clarity or even a few aha moments, do us a favor, hit that like button. And if you want more insightful relationship advice, make sure to subscribe to Bond Chronicle. We're here to help you navigate love, attraction, and everything in between with confidence and class. Don't forget, I'll share this video with someone who could use a little guidance in their dating life. It might just be the thing they need to level up their game. And while you're at it, drop a comment below with your thoughts, questions, or even your own experiences. We love hearing from you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember, attraction isn't about luck. It's about understanding, respect, and connection. Keep building those meaningful relationships, and we'll see you in the next video.